This is the Bible in a Year Live Chronological Project podcast, and today is day 3 of week 35. We'll be reading Jeremiah chapter 26 to 29 from the message version. Let's dive in. Jeremiah chapter 26. Change the way you're living. At the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, this message came from God to Jeremiah. God's message. Stand in the court of God's temple and preach to the people who come from all over Judah to worship in God's temple. Say everything I tell you to say to them. Don't hold anything back. Just maybe they'll listen and turn back from their bad lives. Then I'll reconsider the disaster that I am planning to bring on them because of their evil behavior. Say to them, this is God's message. If you refuse to listen to me and live by my teaching that I've revealed so plainly to you, and if you continue to refuse to listen to my servants, the prophets, that I tirelessly keep on sending to you, but you've never listened, why would you start now? Then I'll make this temple a pile of ruins like Shiloh, and I'll make this city nothing but a bad joke worldwide. Everybody there, priests, prophets, and people, heard Jeremiah preaching this message in the temple of God. When Jeremiah had finished his sermon, saying everything God had commanded him to say, the priests and prophets and people all grabbed him, yelling, Death! You're going to die for this. How dare you preach and using God's name, saying that this temple will become a heap of rubble like Shiloh, and this city be wiped out without a soul left in it. All the people mobbed Jeremiah right in the temple itself. Officials from the royal court of Judah were told of this. They left the palace immediately and came to God's temple to investigate. They held court on the spot at the new gate entrance of God's temple. The prophets and priests spoke first, addressing the officials, but also the people. Death to this man! He deserves nothing less than death. He has preached against this city. You've heard the evidence with your own ears. Jeremiah spoke next, publicly addressing the officials before the crowd. God sent me to preach against both this temple and city, everything that's being reported to you. So do something about it. Change the way you're living. Change your behavior. Listen obediently to the message of your God. Maybe God will reconsider the disaster he has threatened. As for me, I'm at your mercy. Do whatever you think is best. But take warning. If you kill me, you're killing an innocent man, and you and the city and the people in it will be liable. I didn't say any of this on my own. God sent me and told me what to say. You've been listening to God speak, not Jeremiah. The court officials, backed by the people, then handed down their ruling to the priests and prophets. Acquittal. No death sentence for this man. He has spoken to us with the authority of our God. Then some of the respected leaders stood up and addressed the crowd. In the reign of Hezekiah, king of Judah, Micah, Morsheth, preached to the people of Judah this sermon. This is God of the angel armies, message for you. Because of people like you, Zion will be turned back into farmland. Jerusalem end up as a pile of rubble, and instead of temple on the mountain, a few scraggly scrub pines. Did King Hezekiah or anyone else in Judah kill Micah of Morsheth because of the sermon? Didn't Hezekiah honor him and pray for mercy from God? And then didn't God call off the disaster he had threatened? Friends, we're at the brink of bringing a terrible calamity upon ourselves. At another time there had been a man, Uriah, son of Shemaiah, from Kiriath Jearim, who had preached similarly in the name of God. He preached against this city and country, just as Jeremiah did. When King Jehoiakim and his royal court heard his sermon, they determined to kill him. Uriah, afraid for his life, went into hiding into Egypt. King Jehoiakim sent Elnathan, son of Akbor, with a posse of men after him. They brought him back from Egypt and presented him to the king, and the king had him killed. They dumped his body unceremoniously outside the city. But Jeremiah's case, Ahikam, son of Shaphan, stepped forward and took his side, preventing the mob from lynching him. Chapter 27. Harness yourselves up to the yoke. Early in the reign of Zedekiah, son of Josiah, king of Judah, Jeremiah received this message from God. Make a harness and a yoke, and then harness yourself up. Send a message to the kings of Edom, Moab, Ammon, Tyre, and Sidon. Send it through their ambassadors who have come to Jerusalem to see Zedekiah, king of Judah. Give them this charge to take back to their masters. This is a message from God of the angel armies, the God of Israel. Tell your masters, I am the one who made the earth, man and woman, and all the animals in the world. I did it on my own without asking anyone's help, and I hand it out to whomever I will. Here and now I give all these lands over to my servant Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. I have made even the wild animals subject to him. All nations will be under him, then his son, and then his grandson. Then his country's time will be up, and the tables will be turned. Babylon will be the underdog servant, but until then, any nation or kingdom that won't submit to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, must take the yoke of the king of Babylon and harness up. I'll punish that nation with war and starvation and disease until I've got them where I want them. So don't for a minute listen to all your prophets and spiritualists and fortune tellers who claim to know the future and who tell you not to give in to the king of Babylon. They're handing you a line of lies, barefaced lies that will end up putting you in exile far from here. I myself will drive you out of your lands, and that'll be the end of you. But the nation that accepts the yoke of the king of Babylon and does what he says, I'll let that nation stay right where it is, minding its own business. Then I gave this same message to Zedekiah, king of Judah. Harness yourself up to the yoke of the king of Babylon. Serve him and his people. Live a long life. Why choose to get killed or starve to death or get sick and die, which is what God has threatened to any nation that won't throw its lot in with Babylon? Don't listen to the prophets who are telling you not to submit to the king of Babylon. They're telling you lies, preaching lies. God's word on this is, I didn't send those prophets, but keep preaching lies, claiming I sent them. If you listen to them, I'll end up driving you out of here, and that will be the end of you, both you and the lying prophets. And finally, I spoke to the priests and the people at large. This is God's message. Don't listen to the preaching of the prophets who keep telling you, trust us. The furnishings plundered from God's temple are going to be returned from Babylon any day now. That's a lie. Don't listen to them. Submit to the king of Babylon and live a long life. Why do something that will destroy this city and leave it a heap of rubble? If they are real prophets and have a message from God, let them come to God of the angel armies in prayer, so that the furnishings that are still left in God's temple, the king's palace, and Jerusalem aren't also lost to Babylon. That's because God of the angel armies has already spoken about the temple furnishings that remain, the pillars, the great bronze basin, the stands, and all the other bowls and chalices that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, didn't take when he took Jehoiakim, son of Jehoiakim, off to Babylon exile, along with all the leaders of Judah and Jerusalem. He said that the furnishings left behind in the temple of God and in the royal palace and in Jerusalem will be taken off to Babylon and stay there until God's words, I take the matter up again and bring them back where they belong. Chapter 28. From a wooden to an iron yoke. Later that same year, it was in the 5th month of King Zedekiah's 4th year, Hananiah, son of Azur, a prophet from Gibeon, confronted Jeremiah in the temple of God in front of the priests and all the people who were there. Hananiah said, This message is straight from God of the angels' armies, the God of Israel. I'll most certainly break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Before 2 years are out, I'll have all the furnishings of God's temple back here. All the things that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, plundered and hauled off to Babylon. I'll also bring back Jehoiakim, son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and all the exiles who were taken off to Babylon. God's decree. Yes, I'll break the king of Babylon's yoke. You'll no longer be in harness to him. Prophet Jeremiah stood up to Prophet Hananiah in front of the priest and all the people who were in God's temple that day. Prophet Jeremiah said, "Wonderful. Would that it were true that God would validate your preaching by bringing the temple furnishings and all the exiles back from Babylon. But listen to me. Listen closely. Listen to what I tell both you and all the people here today. The old prophets, the ones before our time, preached judgment against many countries and kingdoms, warning of war and disaster and plague. So any prophet who preaches that everything is just fine and there's nothing to worry about stands out like a sore thumb. We'll wait and see. If it happens, it happens. And then we'll know what God sent." At that, Hananiah grabbed the yoke from Jeremiah's shoulders and smashed it. And then he addressed the people. "This is God's message. In just this way, I will smash the yoke of the king of Babylon and get him off the neck of all the nations. And within 2 years, Jeremiah walked out. Later, sometime after Hananiah had smashed the yoke from off his shoulders, Jeremiah received this message from God. "Go back to Hananiah and tell him, this is God's message. You smashed the wooden yoke bars. Now you've got iron yoke bars. This is a message from God of the angel armies, Israel's own God. I've put an iron yoke on all these nations. They're harnessed to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. They'll do just what he tells them. Why, I'm even putting him in charge of the wild animals." So Prophet Jeremiah told Prophet Hananiah, "Hold it, Hananiah. God never sent you. You've talked the whole country into believing a pack of lies. And so God says, you claim to be sent? I'll send you all right off the face of the earth. Before the year is out, you'll be dead because you instigated sedation against God." Prophet Hananiah died that very year in the 7th month. Chapter 29. Plans to give you the future you hope for. This is a letter that the prophet Jeremiah sent from Jerusalem to what was left of the elders among the exiles, to the priests and prophets and all the exiles whom Nebuchadnezzar had taken to Babylon from Jerusalem, including King Jehoiakim, the queen mother, the government leaders, and all the skilled laborers and craftsmen. The letter was carried by Elisha, son of Shaphan, and Gemariah, son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Judah, had sent to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. The letter said, "This is the message from God of the angel armies, Israel's God, to all the exiles I've taken from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses and make yourselves at home. Put in gardens and eat what grows in that country. Marry and have children. Encourage your children to marry and have children so that you'll thrive in that country and not waste away. Make yourselves at home there and work for the country's welfare. Pray for Babylon's well-being. If things go well for Babylon, things will go well for you. Yes, believe it or not, this is the message from God of the angel armies, Israel's God. Don't let all those so-called preachers and know-it-alls who are all over the place there take you in with their lies. Don't pay any attention to the fantasies they keep coming up with to please you. They're a bunch of liars preaching lies and claiming I sent them. I never sent them. Believe me, God's decree. This is God's word on the subject. As soon as Babylon's 70 years are up and not a day before, I'll show up and take care of you as I promised and bring you back home. I know what I'm doing. I have it all planned out. Plans to take care of you, not abandon you. Plans to give you the future you hope for. When you call on me, when you come and pray to me, I'll listen. When you come looking for me, you'll find me. Yes, when you get serious about finding me and want it more than anything else, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed. God's decree. I'll turn things around for you. I'll bring you back from all the countries into which I drove you. God's decree. Bring you home to the place from which I sent you off into exile. You can count on it. But for right now, because you've taken up with these newfangled prophets who set themselves up as Babylonian specialists, spreading the word God sent them just for us, God is setting the record straight. As for the king still sitting on David's throne and all the people left in Jerusalem who didn't go into exile with you, they're facing bad times. God of the angel armies says, watch this. Catastrophe is on the way. War, hunger, and disease. They're a barrel of rotten apples. I'll rid the country of them through war and hunger and disease. The whole world is going to hold its nose at the smell, shut its eyes at the horrible sight. They'll end up in the slum ghettos because they wouldn't listen to a thing I said when I sent my servant prophets preaching tirelessly and urgently. No, they wouldn't listen to a word I said. God's decree. And you exiles whom I sent out of Jerusalem to Babylon, listen to God's message to you. As far as Ahab, son of Kolaiah, and Zedekiah, son of Maaseiah, are concerned, the Babylonian specialists who are preaching lies in my name, I will turn them over to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, who will kill them while you watch. The exiles from Judah will take what they see at the execution and use it as a curse. God fry you to a crisp, like the king of Babylon fried Zedekiah and Ahab in the fire. Those two men, sex predators and prophet impostors, got what they deserved. They pulled every woman they got their hands on into bed, their neighbors' wives, no less, and preached lies claiming it was my message. I never sent those men. I never had anything to do with them. God's decree. They won't get away with a thing. I've witnessed it all. And this is a message for Shemaiah, the Nehelamite, God of angel armies. The God of Israel says, you took it on yourself to send letters to all the people in Jerusalem, to the priest Zephaniah, son of Maaseiah, and the company of priests. In your letter, you told Zephaniah that God set you up as priest, replacing priest Jehoiada. He's put you in charge of God's temple and made you responsible for locking up any crazy fellow off the street who takes it into his head to be a prophet. So why haven't you done anything about muzzling Jeremiah of Anathoth, who's going around posing as a prophet? He's gone so far as to write to us in Babylon. It's going to be a long exile, so build houses and make yourselves at home. Plant gardens and prepare Babylonian recipes. The priest Zephaniah read that letter to the prophet Jeremiah. Then God told Jeremiah, send this message to the exiles. Tell them what God says about Shemaiah, the Nehelamite. Shemaiah is preaching lies to you. I didn't send him. He's seducing you into believing lies. So this is God's verdict. I will punish Shemaiah, the Nehelamite, and his whole family. He's going to end up with nothing and no one. No one from his family will be around to see any of the good that I am going to do for my people because he has preached rebellion against me. God's decree. Amen. Remember to visit our website, Biayl.Project.com, where you can learn about our podcasts and find information on how you can join us on Zoom every Sunday at 6:30 p.m., where we discuss and we look at the things that we've read during the week. Those details are also in the description below. But for now, happy reading, and we'll see you again here tomorrow.